So what it takes to become a web designer? Will I have to learn how to draw? Will I have to learn how to code? Isn't the market oversaturated? I'll need years of experience before making it in the industry. Am I too young or too old to start in web design in 2021? How will I find my clients, or what company will hire me? You do have a lot of questions, don't you? Well, in this video, I'm going to try to respond all or at least most of them. Hello, I'm Gabi. I'm a web designer and developer with 20 years of experience. Stick with me in the next 5 minutes and I'm going to turn upside down all your reasons on why not to start today. First of all, what is a web designer? Well, strictly speaking, a web designer is the person who creates the website from a visual point of view. A web designer determines a website's color palette, layout, fonts, and general visual aspect. Strictly speaking, web designers don't code, only web developers code. But in the real world and working with real clients, lay people who are not used to these industry's terms will use web designer and web developer interchangeably, meaning that when you tell them, hey, I'm a web designer, they will say, oh great, you can deliver a website from scratch, from zero to hero, and I'm not interested exactly how you can do it, you just need to do it. Those are the client's expectations. Now, the good news is that with the emergence of new web design tools like Elementor or Webflow, even people who don't know how to code, who haven't touched a single line of code in their lives, can deliver a website, a complete website, without having to learn how to code. Now, whether or not this is a recommended strategy long-term, that's another discussion for another video. But right now, you should know that without knowing how to code, you can land your first web design client. So what it takes to become a web designer? Well, passion, first of all, and that's it. In other words, you, my friend, have to freaking want it. You don't go into this domain if you want to make a quick buck. This is not that kind of domain. Web design and development mean continuous learning, even more than in other fields. You have to permanently be in touch with what's going on in the industry, with the latest trends, with the latest strategies, and with the latest tools being developed to give you an edge. And although some design principles are in fact evergreen, it will happen sometimes that what works this year will not work the next year, and you won't be able to keep up without a lot of passion and desire to improve yourself and be better and learn. Do I have to learn how to draw? Look guys, I cannot draw a straight line. In fact, here is the depiction of a cat. My kids think this is funny. In the real life, I don't have any sense for design and I cannot draw. In fact, I had to hire a decorator for my house because I couldn't put two pieces of furniture together. So no, I personally cannot draw and I personally don't have a sense of design in the offline. But in my work, if you give me a design brief, I will give you back exactly what you need and what your end user wants. The truth is, I'm a great web designer and my work is really appreciated by all my clients. And I'm doing that without knowing how to draw or without being particularly artistic in other fields of my life. So no, the short answer is you don't have to learn how to draw, because drawing and web designing are two different things, even though they meet at one point. They are both of them are kind of artistic. You don't need to know one in order to master the other one. But isn't the market oversaturated? You know, it's unbelievable, but the same argument was going on even 20 years ago when I first started in the industry. But the question still remains, right? Is the market oversaturated? Is it still worth it to start in this new field in 2021? Well, the answer is a bit complex, and it's yes and no. And yes, the market is oversaturated with mediocre web designers who will just splash a design from the previous client and call it a day. And yes, the market is oversaturated with what we call pixel pushers, people who will just give the client what he wants without any regard of best practices or without thinking about what the client really needs, or more precisely what the client's end users really need. And yes, if your ideal career is one where you don't use your brain, then this market is oversaturated. There are too many of those people right now in the market. But if you want to learn to create beautiful and functional digital things, and if you want to be a part in someone else's personal or business success, if you are in love with this domain, and if you love learning new stuff every day, then there is still place in the market for you, because that's true for any market on this earth. If you have passion and want to learn, then you can find a place in your market. Am I too old or too young to start in web design in 2021? Well, if excuses is what you are after, then yes, let me save you some time. You are too old, too young, too tall, too short, too English, too foreigner, too blonde, too dark, too beautiful, too ugly to be a web designer, right? If excuses is what you want, excuses you will get. It doesn't matter the excuse. If you want to have one, you will find it. You know, I have a very good friend who decided at 35 that she wants to be a web developer. And at 35 years old, she started to learn coding and web development and made a career out of it. And I personally know lots of people who started to learn the basis of design after 40, and now they have very successful careers in their respective fields. No excuses, no apologies. They just went on and did it. And was it difficult? Yes. Like everything else in life that matters, it will be difficult. But that's just another excuse. You are never too old or too young to have a passion, to have a dream and act on it. Will I need years of experience before making it in the industry? No, dude, it's not like rocket science. It's not brain surgery, it's just web design. Also, maybe the right question is, what does making it in the industry mean to you? How do you define success? Is success for you working in the design team for companies like Apple or Adidas? Or does success mean finding yourself a niche that you love, finding a couple of clients that you love, learning one or two things that you are very good at, and working independently and loving every minute of your work? Does this sound like success for you? Because that's certainly my personal definition of success. How will I find my clients, or what company will hire me? I honestly don't have any idea about what company will hire you, because I've never in my life been an employee for a company. But I do have a couple of ideas about how you can find your clients if you decide to go the freelance route. And of course, that's a whole different chapter, and maybe that's for a next video. But just so you know, finding the clients for your freelance career, that's the easy part. The difficult part is managing your own time. The difficult part is having or developing the soft skills to communicate with those clients. The difficult part is feeling motivated when you are working for yourself, which can be a bit demotivating. And yes, if you're wondering, I do have a couple of ideas about how to overcome those difficulties as well. So if you want to learn more about web design, web development, and the freelance life, click that subscribe button and the notification bell to be the first one to know when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.